Have you ever stopped and wondered how something you've eaten your whole life, something you believe is healthy, could quietly push your kidneys toward failure without a single warning sign? What if I told you that one familiar food on your plate eaten the wrong way could raise your risk of heart rhythm problems, emergency hospitalization, and even dialysis, especially after the age of 60? My name is Dr. Mark Ellis, and today I need to talk to you about a truth that is uncomfortable, urgent, and often ignored. Because kidney damage doesn't announce itself with pain. It doesn't knock loudly. It happens silently, year after year, until one day your life is no longer measured in mornings and dinners, but in hospital visits and machines that do the work your body can no longer do. And here's what makes this so dangerous. Many of the people I see in my clinic believe they were doing the right thing. They chose familiar foods, simple foods, foods they were told were good for digestion, for the heart, for longevity. Yet those same choices became the final straw for kidneys that were already aging quietly in the background. But this is not a message of fear, it's a message of control. Because when you understand why this happens and how to eat differently, you can dramatically reduce the strain on your kidneys and protect your health for years to come. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change the way you look at your next meal, and it may help you avoid a future you never wanted. Before we talk about dangerous food combinations, we need to understand something far more important: what quietly happens to the kidneys as we age. After the age of 60, kidney function doesn't suddenly collapse, but it does slow down year by year. The filters inside the kidneys become less flexible, less efficient, and far less forgiving when they're overloaded. The most dangerous part is that kidney decline is silent. There is no pain, no early warning sign. You can still walk, eat, sleep, and live normally while your kidneys have already lost a significant portion of their ability to clear waste from the blood. This is why so many people are shocked when a routine test suddenly shows advanced kidney damage. One of the first things aging kidneys struggle with is potassium balance. Potassium is essential, but only within a narrow range. When levels rise too quickly, the kidneys may not be able to remove the excess in time. And this is where sweet potatoes enter the picture. Sweet potatoes are often labeled as healthy, and for younger people that's usually true, but they are naturally high in potassium. When eaten frequently in large portions or at the wrong time of day, potassium can begin to accumulate in older adults, quietly increasing strain on both the kidneys and the heart. What makes this especially risky is that most seniors feel absolutely fine while this is happening. No discomfort, no warning, just a slow buildup of stress beneath the surface, until one day the heart reacts, the kidneys fall behind, or both at the same time. And this is the key point: many people miss sweet potatoes are not the enemy. The real danger begins when they are eaten in ways that aging kidneys can no longer safely handle. And the moment you start pairing sweet potatoes with certain everyday foods, that risk rises sharply. Because once you understand how fragile potassium balance becomes after 60, you'll see why one very common pairing, sweet potatoes with milk, can turn a healthy habit into a serious threat almost overnight. This is where things start to get dangerous, because once we understand that aging kidneys can't clear potassium the way they used to, the real risk isn't just what you eat, it's what you combine it with. And one combination I see over and over again, especially among people over 60, is sweet potatoes eaten with milk. It feels innocent, even comforting. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I eat sweet potatoes because they're gentle on my stomach, and I drink milk to help it go down easier." Some even believe this pairing helps them sleep better at night. But what feels soothing to the mouth can be extremely stressful for the kidneys. Here's why. A single medium sweet potato can already contain more than 500 milligrams of potassium. One glass of milk adds another 300 milligrams or more. When these are consumed together, potassium enters the bloodstream quickly, far faster than aging kidneys can safely remove it. In a younger body, this spike might be handled without issue. But after 60, the margin for error shrinks dramatically. I remember a patient, a 72-year-old man, who came to the emergency room late one evening with a racing heart, chest tightness, and shortness of breath. He thought he was having a panic attack. Blood tests told a different story. His potassium levels were dangerously high. Earlier that evening, he had eaten a sweet potato and drank a cold glass of milk, something he'd done countless times before. The difference wasn't the food. The difference was his kidneys could no longer keep up. What makes this combination especially risky is that symptoms often appear at night. Palpitations, Restlessness. Waking up short of breath. Many people blame anxiety or poor sleep, never realizing their heart rhythm is being disrupted by excess potassium. And because the kidneys don't hurt, there's no pain to warn you that something is wrong. Milk also brings another hidden problem for older adults. As we age, our ability to digest lactose declines. When milk combines with the starches in sweet potatoes, it can lead to fermentation in the gut, bloating pressure, and discomfort that further stresses the body during sleep when the heart and kidneys should be resting. This is why I tell my patients very clearly, sweet potatoes and milk are not a safe pairing after 60. Avoiding this combination isn't deprivation, it's protection. And while this may already sound serious, it's only part of the picture. Because knowing about milk isn't enough. There are two other foods eaten even more commonly with sweet potatoes that place even greater strain on aging kidneys, and most people have no idea they're doing damage until it's too late. And that's what we need to talk about next. Vir cho, tui joan van hoan chintan, bayas chin soba, tip shus jiao tien voi, go to sagon noi dung chart luang jok, kach phuk gm, yutuk ich bantoi, gitungu viral chua. Tuat tuan YouTube hai, nghin kongtram, he moi bonjen hai, nghin kongtram, he moilam xenlan kach yutuhuk, wako yutug yu charn ngoing he, ingon ngotieng an farn ho lako suchuyen tieb gua. Arjang truk, voi yurjang sautat mod makachi voi, nhao jam bao gyujung hipkam, sukva mak truen hapdantu, jaujen koi. Moi chin ket tuks bang mot minihuk, Nung chibiat gio nai thoi chua ju viko mot yo to kasingu him hon. Giung goi sim tiep tuk shem. Than bai ket hop storytelling koa hok van hom giai fapro reng. Gong tuk na hom noi dung gong chau chuen gong so liu kwa hok gong mini hook gyun goi shem. Here is the fully written body section. Main idea by natural spoken English, crafted for voiceover, optimized for YouTube hai. Nghin kong tram hai, moi bon jan hai. Nghin kong tram hai, moi lam with sharp opening lines, emotional pacing, science storytelling, and a smooth transition from the previous idea and ending, with a strong mini hook to lock retention. Sweet potatoes and salty foods. Forcing aging kidneys to work until they break. If sweet potatoes with milk quietly overload the body, then sweet potatoes with salty foods do something even worse. They force aging kidneys to work at full throttle, again and again until they simply can't recover. This combination is far more common than people realize, especially among older adults who grew up eating sweet foods paired with pickles, fermented vegetables, salted sauces, or preserved dishes. I hear this all the time, doctor. I only eat a little salt, just some pickles on the side to make it easier to eat. And that's exactly what makes this habit so dangerous. It doesn't feel extreme. It feels normal, familiar, comforting. But inside the body, it triggers a chain reaction that aging kidneys struggle to survive. Here's what's happening physiologically. Salty foods are high in sodium. When sodium levels rise, the kidneys are forced into emergency mode to flush it out and protect blood pressure. But sodium cannot leave the body alone. To remove excess salt, the kidneys must pull water and electrolytes along with it, including potassium. And when sweet potatoes are part of that same meal, potassium levels rise even further. This double burden is brutal on the kidney's microscopic filters known as glomeruli. These structures are delicate, and with age, they lose resilience. Repeated overload causes them to stretch scar and harden a process called glomerular sclerosis. Once this damage occurs, it does not reverse. No medication can restore those filters to their original state. I once worked with a woman in her late 60s who had eaten sweet potatoes with pickled vegetables almost daily for years. She never felt pain, never felt sick. Her blood pressure was mostly okay. But routine tests revealed her kidney function had dropped to nearly half of what it should be. The damage didn't come from one bad meal. It came from a habit that slowly pushed her kidneys past their limits. This is why aging changes the rules. What your body handled easily at 40 becomes a strain at 65. The sweet and salty combination doesn't cause instant symptoms, which is why so many people underestimate it. But the damage accumulates quietly meal by meal until the kidneys no longer have enough healthy filters left to cope. Reducing salt isn't about making food tasteless, it's about giving your kidneys room to breathe. When sweet potatoes are eaten without heavy sodium, potassium can be handled more gently. When salt is added, the kidneys are pushed into a constant state of stress that accelerates decline. But as dangerous as this combination is, there's another one that's even more deceptive. It doesn't cause immediate discomfort. It doesn't raise alarms right away. Yet it can leave long-lasting damage behind, especially in older adults. And knowing this alone still isn't enough because there's one more combination far less obvious but even more dangerous than this. After everything we've discussed so far, most people assume they already know the worst food pairings to avoid. Milk, salty foods. These make sense once you understand potassium and kidney stress. But there is one combination that almost no one expects because it doesn't hurt immediately, doesn't cause dramatic symptoms, and often feels completely harmless. Sweet potatoes followed by persimmons, warm, filling, comforting food, followed by something cool, sweet, and refreshing. Many older adults do this instinctively, especially in the evening. And on the surface, it looks innocent. No salt, no dairy, no heavy seasoning, just natural foods. But inside the body, this pairing creates a very different reaction. Sweet potatoes are rich in pectin, a type of soluble fiber. Persimmons, especially ripe or dried ones, contain high levels of tannins. When these two compounds meet inside the acidic environment of the stomach, they bind tightly together, forming dense masses that the digestive system struggles to break down. Over time, these masses can harden, slow digestion, and trap food in place. As digestion slows, fermentation begins. Harmful byproducts and toxins are produced, and those toxins don't stay in the gut. They are absorbed into the bloodstream and sent straight to the kidneys organs that are already under strain from age-related decline in potassium load. Clinically, this combination is especially dangerous for people taking heart medications or potassium-retaining drugs. In these cases, the body's ability to eliminate excess potassium is already reduced. Add digestive toxins to the mix, and the kidneys are forced into a double workload, managing electrolyte imbalance, while filtering waste they were never designed to handle in such volume. I've seen patients who felt nothing more than mild bloating at first. No pain, no warning signs. But weeks later, blood tests revealed rising potassium levels, worsening kidney markers, and unexplained fatigue. The connection wasn't obvious until we traced it back to repeated food pairings that seemed healthy on their own. And here's the most important part: simply avoiding this one combination has helped many older adults step away from the path toward dialysis. Not through medication, not through extreme diets, but through awareness and timing. Sweet potatoes and persimmons are not bad foods, but together and at the wrong time, they become a silent burden that aging kidneys may not recover from. But even knowing this still isn't enough, because one final factor can determine whether your kidneys stabilize or continue toward irreversible damage. Before we end, I want you to remember one important thing: none of this is about fear, and none of this is about blame. If you've eaten these foods for years, that doesn't mean you failed your body. It simply means no one ever explained how aging changes the rules. And the fact that you're here listening until the end already tells me you care about your health and your future. Small changes matter more than you realize. Choosing the right food combinations, paying attention to timing, and giving your kidneys a little less work to do each day can make a real difference over time. You don't need extreme diets. You don't need expensive treatments. You just need the right knowledge applied calmly and consistently. If this information helped you even a little, please save this video so you can come back to it later or share it with someone you love who might need it. And I invite you to subscribe to the channel because I share clear, practical medical insights here every week to help you protect your kidneys, your heart, and your independence as you age. There is still so much you can do for your health. Your kidneys are resilient when they're respected, and it's never too late to give your body a better chance. Take care of yourself, eat with awareness, and remember, informed choices today can protect your freedom and quality of life for many years to come.